Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Chatgpt's Controlled Universe Mode. I just want to say, if you guys missed the last installment and you want to catch yourselves up to speed as to what's been going on, check out the previous episode where we went into SummerSlam. And I also want to say thank you guys so much for sticking through. I know these series take a couple of weeks for me to put together and then to actually upload, but I thank you guys for your patience as I'm trying my best to get these out as quickly as I possibly can. But it is a lot of work to put together, as well as the other series I'm currently working on at the moment. But thank you guys so much for sticking with me, and without further ado, let's get back into it. As we begin the month with the first week of Raw, we're kicking things off with tag team action. The Street Profits are the first ones to challenge the Steiner brothers for their newly won tag team titles. But as we begin things here, Scott and Montez are going toe-to-toe. Ultimately, Scott picks up the win in their first matchup here at singles competition. Post-match, it was grueling, it was tough. They both went back and forth quite well, both capturing everything they had in their arsenal, and it would leave them battered and bruised. One would only hope that they would be healed up to continue this going forward. As we progress into the Intercontinental Championship picture, Chatgpt said Chad Gable, the other wrestling machine, would be perfect for Ilya Dragunov's first opponent after he has victoriously taken it off of the dominant Kevin Owens. But in Ilya's first match, he would not have it any easy, as on this first week of Raw, he went up against Pete Dunne, and boy, oh boy, did they put on an absolute killer performance. Going back and forth, using, and I mean literally, everything that they had. It was spectacular. Post-match, as Ilya did lose in a phenomenal effort, Chad Gable comes out to meet him face to face to cement his will to challenge him first for the IC title. As we go into the Raw Women's World Title division, Beth Phoenix has her work cut out for her straight away, as Charlotte wants to be the first to challenge her for that newly won world title, as she took it over Trish Stratus at SummerSlam. But Charlotte's first opponent here would be the prodigy Roxanne Perez. As we all know, not a walk in the park. Charlotte had pretty good control to start it, but picked up the win as it came closer to the end of the bout. Now, post-match here, Beth Phoenix music hits. She walks down to the ring to meet her new rival face to face. What could this mean? Well, she's got to throw it around. She's the new boss in charge. World Heavyweight Championship picture is here, and Seth Rollins will be back in it, challenging Cody Rhodes for the championship. And wow, would you look at that? Cody Rhodes still has it. The first person to actually defend the world title. It's not a brand new video with a brand new champion. That's amazing. But nonetheless, they get into it to start things off. Seth looking to congratulate him at the beginning of the match, but it was a bit deceitful. Cody didn't take too kindly to it, but to end it, Seth would take him to the outside and actually win via count out. The deceitful little Sethy Poo. ECW is here, and Johnny Gargano has to go up against Dijak. That is the opponent that Chatgpt has selected for him next after another successful title defense. But his first match here would be against the Don, Tony D'Angelo. And first match for both men, pretty damn good. They went out there, tore the house down for the ECW Hall Arena, and Johnny, another big win in his books. Moving over to things here, Johnny celebrating in the ring, catching his breath. Dijak comes out to the stage. Johnny telling him, "Hey, come here, big boy. I ain't afraid of you. I beat bigger men before." Dijak, he ain't having it. Not yet. Moving over to SmackDown for the first week here, we're going straight into the United States Championship picture. Karrion Kross will be stepping up to challenge Sheamus next. Sheamus has been quite the champion to this point since winning it a few months back. Pretty dominant, taking down everyone that Chatgpt has thrown in his way, and this one to start would be no different. Picking up a win against Karrion in their first meeting here, as Karrion still looks to challenge him. After the match was over, Sheamus not taken too lightly to Karrion wanting this. So Sheamus is like, take this instead, stomping the living hell out of him. As we gear up for the SmackDown Women's Division for the WWE Women's Championship, Asuka will be the next to challenge Io Sky. I believe she has done it once before and was unsuccessful. Before the match can begin, Asuka slapping the hell out of a deceitful Io Sky, and in their first encounter, it would prove no good, once again in Asuka's favor, as Io Sky picks up another win in her absolutely dominant reign. But can she hold it at the Payback pay-per-view? To conclude the first week of festivities, Chatgpt absolutely cooked. Big money match, big money rivalry. CM Punk and Roman Reigns will be going at it for the WWE Championship. And in their first encounter, Roman did not take things lightly at all, assaulting Punk as he made his way down to the entrance ramp. But it would be CM Punk picking up the win in their first encounter. Will this be a sign of things to come at Payback? Only the coming weeks will tell. As we enter week 2, we are here for Monday Night Raw. Chad Gable challenging Ilya to their first official one-on-one match, but Chad has Otis in his corner. Will this help him in any way? Well, I guess we are indeed about to find out. Mid-match here, Ilya and Gable going back and forth. Ilya starts to pick up his momentum that he was slowly beginning to lose. Unfortunately, inadvertently takes out the ref. Otis slides Gable a chair. Ilya, however, quickly puts a stop to it and manages to pick up and hold a victory. Now that is going to be a shot in Gable's momentum. As we continue on over to the tag team division scene, last week we saw Scott Steiner versus Montez Ford, and now this week we transition to Rick Steiner versus Angelo Dawkins. Two big, strong men going back and forth here. Even in a no DQ match, Angelo still held his own pretty good. Rick, while using a kendo stick, did come out the victor. So now that is 2 apiece for the Steiner brothers. As we move back on over to the Women's World Title Division, Beth Phoenix and Charlotte were set for more one-on-one action, but Charlotte comes out to the ramp holding her arm, seems to be in a little bit of quote-unquote pain. So Tiffy Time takes the fall, willing to take Charlotte's place in this one-on-one match here up against Beth Phoenix. And if you watch, and if you pay attention, it is indeed Tiffy Time. She did one hell of a job going toe-to-toe with the champion. They put on an absolute classic. However, unfortunately, Beth Phoenix would hit the slam on the outside, roll Tiffany back into the ring to pick up her victory and solidify that nothing will stop her against Charlotte. To conclude week 2 of Monday Night Raw, we finish off with tag team action, and Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, the unlikely duo, try to take on the Dudley Boys. And as you would see here, it did not begin or almost end well. The Dudleys were absolutely hauling ass and kicking it at the same time, destroying both Cody and Seth simultaneously, as they could just not get on the same page. Cody would, however, try to fight back mid-match. There would be some more controversy as Cody inadvertently takes out Seth. The Dudleys are back on top, trying to take down Cody. Seth would slowly get up, make his way back into the ring looking to take out Devon, and then inadvertently takes out Cody. Then the action just becomes pure chaos, spilling out to the side of the ring, Cody and Seth getting beat down again, but it does not spell the end for them. Cody and Seth both go into their bags of finishers and manage to come through with a victory, a comeback victory. But post-match as well, more disagreements as Seth is still looking to challenge Cody for the world title and they just cannot get along at all. ECW Week 2. Dijak set for a one-on-one action against the Sandman. Hardcore icon, ECW legend. Dijak maybe a little bit afraid, and I think he has a right to be, but Johnny says, nah, you're going through with this. Throws him into the ring. Dijak did put on a bit of a good show, but it would not last long. Sandman would end up hooking up Dijak for a pile driver, practically breaking his spinal cord and picking up a win. So that was very easily said and done, and that definitely just killed a lot of Dijak's momentum. Going into week 2 of SmackDown, we begin things with the United States Championship picture as Dominic Mysterio is going one-on-one with Karrion. Obviously, Karrion looking to cement his place, trying to challenge Sheamus to become the new United States Champion after Sheamus has had a really good showing as champion. Of course, Karrion picking up a win. After the match, Sheamus enters the ring while Karrion is in his victory and clocks him over the dome with the title. WWE Women's Championship here as the ever so dominant Io Sky is set to go one-on-one with Chelsea Green. I know that was my own spin on it and I apologize because it was awful, but nonetheless, as Chelsea Green and Io Sky are going one-on-one, toe-to-toe, mid-match here, they're going blow for blow, pound for pound, and Io Sky, as she rolls out of the ring, ever so dauntingly, trying to catch her breath, Asuka, her rival and her challenger for her women's championship, pushes her back into the ring to get what's coming to her, which is a loss to Chelsea Green, who destroys her with her unprettier and a Canadian destroyer. As we conclude SmackDown's second week of the month here, Roman Reigns is going one-on-one with Grayson Waller, and Grayson would only have maybe one or two things to show as he got utterly beat down bad by Roman Reigns. Picking up a victory, Roman brushing it off, going, hey man, that was pretty dang easy, celebrating in his victory. And Punk, post-match, comes in, starts kicking the ever-living shit out of Roman Reigns, and beating the ever-living shit out of Roman Reigns, getting what he wants, and trying to take what is his. You already know it is the go-home week before the Payback pay-per-view. Kicking things off on Monday Night Raw, we have Intercontinental Championship action as Ilya Dragunov and Chad Gable are set for a one-on-one no-title contest before their title match at the pay-per-view. Now, before the match, Chad Gable would storm in and try to take advantage of Ilya, but it would be to no avail. It just made Ilya even more pissed, picking up a surefire victory, making him even more prepped for their upcoming title bouts. As we move over into the tag team action, Street Profits and the Steiner Brothers are set for one more bout before their title match at the pay-per-view, and as we can see, yet another heated exchange is going on as they're beating the hell out of each other before this one even begins. But moving into the match itself, they would go back and forth using tag team moves against one another, even trying to make each other fly into the third row as Angelo tried to send Rick on out of the building. But to no avail, as the Steiner Brothers would ultimately pick up a win over the Street Profits, which would cement their spot and ruin any good momentum that the Street Profits could have had. As we move over to the Women's World title for Raw, Charlotte and Shotzi are set for one-on-one action for the final week before the pay-per-view. Now, Charlotte and Shotzi, they had a little bit of a back and forth here. Ultimately, though, it would be Charlotte picking up the win over Shotzi. Then, after the match was done, Charlotte celebrating her victory, you know, as the queen, quote-unquote, should. But Beth Phoenix would have a little bit to say about that, storming into the ring, getting into an ultimate stare down. Moving on to the World Heavyweight Championship. World Heavyweight Champion Cody Rhodes going up against former WWE Champion Kofi Kingston. And you already know, with two incredible wrestlers such as these two that are severe veterans and just very damn good and very damn experienced, this match was, in fact, a certified banger, even cementing Kofi as a potential suitor for an upcoming championship match. But unfortunately, it wouldn't be his time as he did not get the win. It would still be the champion Cody Rhodes walking away with a victory. However, after the match finishes, Cody basking in his glory, and Seth's music hits as he comes out to display one last convey of emotions before their match at Payback. The go-home episode of ECW sees Johnny Gargano going one-on-one with Wes Lee, and this match had no shortages of amazing and damn near perfect. These guys would go through every single thing they had in their bag, their arsenal completely used. Canadian destroyers, flippity-doodaws off the ropes, Pele kicks, big-time finishers, and in the end, Johnny Gargano would still pick up a win, but Wes Lee showed massive promise. And Dijak after the match would come in, hit Gargano from behind, and even use his own title against him. Would this spell disaster for Gargano at Payback? I guess we're gonna have to find out soon. And the final episode before Payback is here. United States Championship action to kick things off. Sheamus set to go one-on-one with Santos Escobar. And this match was awesome. Santos Escobar is one hell of a wrestler. If you didn't know, now you know. Him and Sheamus blended incredibly well together. Of course, though, Sheamus would pick up the win. And after the match, the lights seemed to dim. Why the hell is that? And then they go completely off, turning back on to Karrion Kross himself, who reverts to a mid-2000s Undertaker and chokeslam Sheamus to hell. Asuka challenging Dakota Kai in a one-on-one, and as we would see, this match would hope to give Asuka some big-time momentum heading into her championship match against Io Sky. As luck would have it, she would indeed pick up a victory in a very quick and very short match. So let's hope that this can help her momentum against the ever so strong Io Sky. CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio to finish SmackDown before we head in to Payback. And as we would see here, Rey Mysterio trying to do everything he can to take out the challenger to Roman Reigns' WWE Championship. And he would do just that. Punk would be putting up one hell of a fight, but Rey, man, oh man, he came out swinging and he managed to pin the challenger and walk away with a victory. Now here we go. It's time for Payback.
And now, WWE presents Payback.
Kicking things off for Payback, we start with the Intercontinental Championship. Chad Gable challenges Ilya Dragunov. Let's get into it. Starting off with a suplex from Ilya, and then going to Suplex City is Chad Gable, hitting Ilya with a solid 3 to get things going here. Ilya fakes the chop, goes into the DDT. Ilya picking up Chad for a massive powerbomb, and then a big flying elbow which will indeed seal the deal. Ilya Dragunov retains the Intercontinental Championship. No holds barred for the ECW Championship. What else would it be? Dijak challenging Johnny Gargano. Let's get into it. Massive suplex to start things off from Dijak, and then a big power bomb. Johnny grabbing a table, using it to bonk Dijak over the head. But his momentum would quickly be shot down by Dijak's relentless power. Johnny would try to come back with a big kick and an apron leg drop, and even throwing him headfirst into the turnbuckle. But again, Dijak's power would ultimately be too much for Johnny to handle, as we now have a new ECW champion. United States Championship on the line. Karrion Kross challenged Sheamus to a bout. Let's get on into it. Starting things, Sheamus takes complete control of almost the entire match, hitting him with a back slam, scoop slam, even going from the top rope to the outside. Karrion would try to get back into it, even using the barricade on the outside and one of the signatures, but the bro kick would put him back to sleep, and Sheamus very dominantly retains that United States Championship. Tag Team Championships are up for grabs here as the Steiner brothers are defending against the Street Profits. Let's get into the action. Montez Ford begins things with a big time somersault here, and Angelo even goes with a massive front flip to the outside. The Street Profits are in perfect unison to start this match, even making good strides it looks like. However, the Steiner brothers would come back with big time moves of their own, but the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, would look to get his own back in a back and forth set between Rick and Scott. But ultimately here, the Steiner brothers would come out victorious in a very valiant effort against the Street Profits. Props to both teams, because that was a hell of a match to witness. But the Steiners retain the tag titles. WWE Women's Championship on the line. The ever so dominant Io Sky is being challenged by the very adverse Asuka. As we get into the match here, Asuka gets some early advantage with a neckbreaker and a spine buster with a spinning heel kick to boot. Io would quickly respond with a moonsault with Asuka off the top rope. Asuka trying to get back, but Io with a crossbody to the outside of the ring. Drop kick, another moonsault with Asuka off the top rope. Io hitting her finisher, and yet again, Io Sky retains her championship, the most dominant to this point. The Women's World Championship is being defended by brand new champion Beth Phoenix against a very iconic Charlotte Flair. As we get into it here, Charlotte took very early control of the entire match, doing pretty much everything in her bag, and it was over. She squashed Beth Phoenix into transitional champion territory as we have a new Women's World Champion, Charlotte Flair. World Heavyweight Championship, Cody Rhodes, who is actually being able to defend the title, is going up against, again, Seth freaking Rollins, who wants his shot at the World Heavyweight Championship once again. And as we go into the match here, Cody would be handling his business, even hitting an early crossroads. Seth would pretty much have no answer for him, and Cody would manage to finish it here with the Cody Cutter, retaining his championship once again. And this is indeed the best World Heavyweight Champion we have had to this point. And here we go, main event, big money match for the WWE Championship. CM Punk challenging the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. And yes, indeed, this is Mania main event worthy. But here we are at Payback. CM Punk gets things started with a big suplex. Roman comes back with a big boot and a big power bomb and throws CM Punk into the corner. Punk would not say die, using some big boots there of his own and even a big diving clothesline off the middle rope. Roman hits him with the first spear. Punk still in it, rebounds off the big crossbody there. Even going to the outside with another dive. Another spear from Roman would not be enough, but the third was the nail in the coffin. The Tribal Chief retains against Chicago-made chick magnet CM Punk.